Today we're going to be talking about my team, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and how I think they will do this season in football. So let's get right into it. All right, let's get into this offense. So starting it out, we're going to go with returning starters for this year's offense. Potential returning starters. At quarterback, it should be the starter, KJ Jefferson. Running back, we will see Rocket Sanders. And then with the wide receiver core, we're not returning any starting guys from last year. Same with tight end and left tackle. At the left guard, we should see Brady Latham in his senior year starting for Arkansas as a fourth-year starter. And then we got Bo Lemmer starting center this year. He's been amazing the past 3 years as a starter, and he's going to be great. And then you got Cam Little at the kicker position, who is on track to break school record in field goal percentage. He's at 82.1% right now, 33 of 40. So that is the starting offense. We are bringing back 5 guys out of 11, and we're missing 3 of the 5 offensive linemen, all the wide receivers, and the tight end position. Now, the wide receivers is a little bit iffy on who we are going to be seeing. Is it going to be Sam Mbake? Is he going to get to start? Is Isaac TeSlaa going to start? Is Isaiah Sategna, the 4-star wide receiver out of Fayetteville, the speed demon, is he going to be starting for the Arkansas Razorbacks at wide receiver? We got some amazing guys that I think can fill the wide receiver spots where we need them. But my starting wide receiver core has got to be Sam Mbake, Isaiah Sategna, and Isaac TeSlaa. That is my starting wide receivers for Arkansas. I think, Luke Kaz is probably going to push Nathan back for tight end's position. And I think Luke Kaz has everything that you need. I just don't know about his blocking. I think Nathan Bax definitely got the blocking over Luke Kaz. Luke Kaz definitely got the catching, run after the catch, everything that involves catching for tight end. But I would say Nathan Bax is a better blocker. Since Arkansas is a run-heavy team, I would say Nathan Bax gets a start, but it's going to be 50-50 on that. And the offensive line, you got Devion Manuel, who's supposedly a projected starter. So is Joshua Brown and Patrick Kutas, sorry, I probably butchered that name. Joshua Brown transferred from Florida. He was good at Florida. He's gonna battle Emarian Harris, who is a freshman, for that spot. Also, this run game for Arkansas is going to be massive. Rocket Sanders returning, KJ Jefferson returning, AJ Green returning, Rashad Dubinion returning, and we might see Dominique Johnson return this year at running back. I mean, oh my goodness, this is probably one of the deepest running back cores in all of college football. Rocket Sanders, who had 1,450 yards last year, 10 touchdowns on 222 carries. KJ Jefferson, who is a threat at the quarterback position, 9 rushing touchdowns, 640 yards, and 158 carries. AJ Green, he was a good backup last year, 412 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rashad Dubinion, the freshman, 71 carries, 293 yards, and 5 touchdowns as a freshman. Now, Rashad Dubinion, he is a little bit of a balanced running back. I say balanced, I mean he's a little bit of a pass catcher and good runner. They used him against Kansas more of a running back instead of a receiving back, but I really think Rashad Dubinion is going to have a breakout year this year. I would say at least 500 yards, 300 yards, possibly in the receiving category. 1 or 2 touchdowns receiving and about 5 touchdowns this year on running. AJ Green, he's a great elusive running back. Had a pretty good spring game. I didn't realize this, but he only had 3 rushing touchdowns. I thought he had more. He had it was a 28, 29, or 30-yard rushing touchdown against Kansas in the Liberty Bowl. That was probably one of his best plays this year. KJ Jefferson, really good. 9 rushing touchdowns, basically had as much as Rocket Sanders did. This running back core is going to be hard to stop. Let's jump into the defense. Here is the defensive side of the ball. The defensive line should be seeing a little bit of a drop-off after losing Drew Sanders and Jordan Dominic, who was 2 and 3 in the SEC last year in sacks. Drew Sanders 9.5, Jordan Dominic 7.5. So we are going to get Landon Jackson back, who is a phenomenal player last year. I would say that Jordan Dominic and Drew Sanders took away a little bit of what he can do. He's going to be the primarily defensive rusher. He's going to be amazing this year. So tall, 6'7". Dude's going to be a beast. Cameron Ball, who played on the team last year, I wouldn't say he was the best last year, but this year, I think he can get the starting job. Torian Carter, he had knee surgery last year, and I think he can have a breakout year this year. We'll see if Eric Gregory can push him for some playing time. Joshua Stewart, he's a returning starter from last year. He's not really a key player, but he's a great role player, and that is something that we need on the defensive line, especially since he's a senior. He has all the experience on the team and everything. So I think our defensive line will have a little bit of a drop-off. Maybe not the crazy amount of sacks that we had last year, but we'll still have 30 or more. This linebacker core is a little bit interesting. Chris Pupal Jr., amazing linebacker. I mean, you want to talk about just a great, phenomenal player. That's Chris Paul. I mean, as a freshman, was amazing. He was just great last year in South Carolina. He almost had a scoop and score touchdown on the last play of the game. I remember him against Auburn. He was pretty good. I think he had a big hit last year. Dude was just awesome. I love that guy. He'll definitely be a starter. I think he could possibly be a captain with KJ, maybe Rocket. I don't know who's going to be captains yet, but I would think Chris Paul is going to be that main guy on defense. And then we got Antonio Grier, who transferred from USF, which is University of South Florida. Dude was pretty good at South Florida. It's a smaller school, so the great players are going to obviously shine. We'll see how he does at Arkansas. I think he could be really good at the linebacker position with Chris Paul. So Antonio Grier, Chris Paul, they're going to be doing really good. Now the secondary, Walcott. I think it's Walcott. I don't know. Walcott. Anyways, transfer from Baylor. He had a pick 6 in the Sugar Bowl, maybe? I don't think it's the Sugar Bowl, but against Ole Miss, he had a pick 6. It was pretty amazing. check that out. I have a Al Walcott video. It was about like 4 or 5 months ago. Go watch that one. And then we got Dwight McGlothern, who's a starter from last year, who's returning in his senior year. Lorando Snacks Johnson, who is also a transfer from Baylor. He's gonna be another corner for us. Quincy McAdoo, I don't know if you heard this or not, but he got in a major car wreck on May 1st, and he might not be able to return. If you're driving through Arkansas, he got in the car wreck on mile marker 35. It's around the Chester. It's around the Chester area. And then Jaden Johnson, who is a returning starter from last year, he is a physical striker. He just needs to work on his tackling and his zone. Hudson Clark, who was, pretty good last year. He had a toe tap pick on the sideline against BYU. That was my highlight of the year for Hudson Clark. He's, for a white guy, he's pretty good. I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but he's pretty good. Hudson Clark, I love that guy. I really do think he's going to have a breakout year, especially with the secondary we have. I think we could do pretty good. The secondary is looking a little bit better than it was last year. We are without Jalen Catalon, who transferred to Texas, sadly. And then punter, we got Max Fletcher, who just, he was kind of overrated coming in, I feel like, because last year he wasn't, the best. He some of his punts are just like, man, I thought you had a bigger leg than that. If he can work on his kick power and punt power, punt accuracy, he could do really good and shine. Let's get on to special teams. So I already touched a little bit on Cam Little and Max Fletcher, but I'm going to touch on the returning team and all that now. So last year, Arkansas only had one touchdown on special teams, and that was on a 80-yard Bryce Stevens punt return touchdown against Missouri State. Amazing play. I was lucky enough to be at that game and see it live. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. Cam Little is on pace to set the school record in field goal percentage. He is at 82.1% on field goals, and he's one of the best players on the team. I know it's kind of weird to say as a kicker, but the worst kick that I've seen him kick was against Texas A&M, and out of his 40 attempts, that was the worst one. So, we can obviously really remember the one against LSU, the game winner, the 33-yarder, I think, against LSU. That was amazing. As a true freshman, he kicked that. That was amazing. But, he's been a really, really solid kicker, one of the best kickers in the country. I'm glad that he's at Arkansas. He's going into his junior year, and it's just crazy that he's already a junior. Max Fletcher, he just needs to work on his punt power. I feel like we've gone through a bunch of bad punters lately for Arkansas, and we just need to get that one guy hopefully soon. Hopefully that's Max Fletcher. Maybe Owen Lawson is going to beat out Max Fletcher in the punter position, but we'll see if Max Fletcher can keep it up. Now, the returning team, I don't really know who's going to be starting out as the returners. I would assume Bryce Stevens. You'll see him on punt returns. I don't know who you're going to see on kick returns. It's usually A.J. Green. We'll see if he's still going to be there. He did have a dropped kick return against Mississippi State to open out the second half. So we'll see if he still gets that position. Maybe there's some freshmen that might see it. Maybe Isaiah Satanga, who is an amazing athlete, is going to be the starting role for the kick returner. And that's really all I got for special teams. Let's get into the schedule. This schedule for Arkansas is very intriguing. You start out Western Carolina, who I've never heard of. That game's gonna be at Little Rock. I think we get the dub in this game. I'm gonna say I don't know how our team's gonna be, chemistry and everything. I'm gonna go a little bit on the lower side. I'm gonna go 38-10 against Western Carolina at Little Rock. Against Kent State on September 9th. That's Nick Saban's alma mater, Kent State, and that's at Donald W. Reynolds. I'm going to say Arkansas wins that game 42-17. I'm going to say 42-17 against Kent State. BYU, the rematch from last year whenever we played at BYU. This is the toughest non-conference game we will play. BYU is now in the Big 12, so they may not have their 8-5 record that they had last year. They may not make a bowl game. I think they do, but there's a good chance that they don't because they're in the Big 12 and there's some good teams in the Big 12 like Texas, Oklahoma, Baylor, all those teams, Kansas now apparently. So I'm going to say we beat BYU for their second straight year. I'm going to say that we beat BYU. Let's go 27-24 against BYU. At LSU, I think this is going to be the first loss that we get of the season, unfortunately. Usually we play LSU in about November, late November. I don't know why that we're playing them as the first SEC game of the year. Usually we play A&M on the first SEC game of the year, but this year it's at LSU, which is going to be a tough matchup. And since LSU made the SEC championship last year and they went 10-4, we're pretty good, and they're bound to be better this year. So I'm going to say LSU gets us. Let's go. It's usually low scoring. It's been low scoring the past 2 years. I'm going to say 17-14 LSU. A&M, this game is going to be tough. We'll see if Bobby Petrino is going to be that guy for him or not. I got us losing this game just because Bobby Petrino is probably going to be doing really good by that time. I got us losing 24-21 against A&M. At Ole Miss, this game is another close one. I'm going to say at Ole Miss we lose. Last time we played at Ole Miss, it was a thriller. Came down to the wire. Arkansas lost 52-51, went for a 2-point conversion, and obviously did not get it. I'm going to say we lose this one. I'm going to say, I don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Is it going to be Jackson Dart? Is it going to be Spencer Sanders? I don't know. I'm going to still say we lose. I'm going to say 31-28 Ole Miss. Now, at Alabama, obviously this is going to be a loss unless Alabama has one of the worst years that they've had in the past 20 years or something. Nick Saban has yet to lose to Arkansas, which is crazy. I'm going to say we lose this one by, I don't know, I'm going to say we lose 45-28. I just don't see us beating Alabama this year, especially with the wide receivers being the way they are with all these new guys. I just say we lose 45-28. I mean, I don't see us winning this game. And that was a tough stretch of 4 weeks straight on the road. Now we get into the rest of this should be smooth sailing for Arkansas. Mississippi State, they're no pushover. Their coach is Zach Arnett after the passing of Mike Leach. Let's give Mike Leach a couple of seconds. Okay. Rest in peace, Mike Leach. Anyways, I think we beat Mississippi State this year. We'll have to see how Zach Arnett is doing. I would say that Arkansas, this is going to be not an easy win for Arkansas, but definitely a win for Arkansas. I'm going to go 21-10. And now we have to travel at Florida after we traveled at Florida in the COVID year. I don't know why we're doing this again, but it's at Florida. I'm going to say we win this game. Anthony Richardson gone, and even with Anthony Richardson, the number 4 overall pick, they went 6-7. Can't get any better than that with the number 4 overall pick at the helm, and you still go 6-7. I say Florida's going to be. It's at Gainesville. It's never easy, but I think we can get this win. I'm going to say 28-14. 28-17, actually. Auburn. Usually, Auburn's pretty bad, but they got Hugh Freeze now. So we'll see how they can do with Hugh Freeze. I'm going to say we win again. I'm going to say we beat Auburn 31-24. FIU non-conference. Thank goodness we got easy non-conference this year. I'm going to say we beat FIU 49-14. Missouri, the last game of the year. The Battle Line rivalry. I don't know why it's called a rivalry, because it's only been a rivalry past 9 years or so. I don't consider it as a rivalry, but apparently everybody else does. And we lost to them last year. We beat them the year after COVID with Burks. I'm going to say we go win this game. I'm going to say 35. Let's go 35-28. 35-31, actually. That is how I think we're going to end out the year. 8-4, I think. 7-5. We'll see.